Hello, Pops here again. I realized that I made a really bad mistake in the last video, and somebody was nice enough to point it out. I said it was August 18, but they pointed out that the calendar here on the wall behind me said June, so I was a couple of months behind. I do know that it's August. I may not know what day it is, but I do know that it's August 2018, and Donald Trump is still the president of the United States. Somebody else asked about the license plate back here that says Bambi. It's clearly an Oklahoma tag in an Airstream frame. We enjoy traveling in an Airstream. Our first Airstream was a little small 16-foot that the model is called a Bambi. That's just what Airstream calls it, and so we got a personalized tag that said Bambi, and now we have a bigger Airstream, but we like to just kind of as a little bit of a memory about a little trailer that we loved and had a great time in. Here's my Seinfeld No Soup for You mug. This little deal is called a bookmark. It's actually a stamp that I stamp inside of my books with, and maybe some time I'll tell you about the significance of that for me. My oldest son made that for me, and it's something that will always be very special. So when we were dating, I had a VW bus, and it's a wonder that I was allowed to take her out in a VW bus, but nonetheless, our first few dates were in a VW bus. This is a turntable. I still love listening to records on a turntable. I just don't think there's any substitute for that. And so that's a few of the favorites, and a little bit of tour around the office. This is the space where we work, and so we each have our own half, and I have to admit that Arlene's looks a little more official. She's got a calculator and files, and I have a yo-yo and a GoPro camera and basically a lot of silliness. And then crammed over here in the corner is my drum set. This is a very special set. It's fairly new. Ludwig started making these a few years ago. They're actually made here in the U.S., and they are a replica of the set that I started on back when I was in junior high school. That picture of those bicycles lined up, that's just a few of the bicycles that were a part of a halftime show from what is arguably the best high school marching band in the world, and it was actually a part of their halftime show that was kind of based on The Wizard of Oz, and so all of their flag corps rode one of those red bikes, and I just found that intriguing. After the series of marching shows was over, they actually put the bikes up for sale, and my amazing missus bought me one, and it now hangs from the ceiling in our office, which I admit is kind of crazy, but it's pretty special. I love the color, the silhouette, and it's just fun to have a bicycle hanging from the ceiling in your house. So my daughter-in-law made this for me. This is a cross stitch of the Fab Four. It's been a hard day's night. And I love it. I just love the fact that she took the time to, first of all, to know that I love the Beatles, and also to make that for me. So that's just a quick tour around the space where we enjoy hanging out. And so little Dr. Seuss on the door. And I might show you this beautiful piece of art over here. It's hanging on the wall. That Airstream that you see back there in the woods is actually our little Bambi, or a picture of it. I took a picture and cut it out and pasted it on this landscape painting, which I bought at a thrift store. And I glued the Airstream, I glued the hot air balloon, I glued the men in their canoe, the fly fishermen, and the fish jumping out of the water. I'm sure the original artist wouldn't agree, but I thought it needed a little bit more interest and colors. I think it's always interesting to find that people have a place that they like to hang out, a place that they're comfortable in, and maybe a place that just feels right, or maybe is a little bit inspirational. And I would never think of myself as a hoarder. Maybe I am, but because obviously I've got a bunch of stuff that I consider to be kind of special to me, and I like having that stuff around. All of it has a little bit of a significance to me, or it's just a neat design that I like, and I find it inspiring. So I'd be curious to hear about the space where you enjoy hanging out or doing your work or your hobby or your craft, but more on that later. Thanks again for listening. Feel free to subscribe and be a part of the journey. This is About Pops. Thanks for listening.